Interstate 40, 40 being significant, as you know, according to your dream. And I-40 runs through Dixon County, where we live. So we were driving on I-40 eastward in a time of the day where the sun was setting, which I thought was significant, and it was more dusky dark, not completely dark, but dusky dark. We came quickly to an area of roadway on I-40 that was so full of potholes that we had to slow down to almost a complete stop. We began to drive very slowly through the potholes to get past them and go further down the roadway. I knew that the potholes represented deep issues and problems nationally within our nation in the areas of economy. Also, it represented treachery, governmental agendas, banking controls, and malpractice of justice within our nation. I knew that because the potholes had names down in them of these things. That's how I knew it. The biggest pothole we saw, we had to veer around it, was called the national debt. So I knew this as well. The Lord made it very clear to me that what I was seeing was all governmental issues in our nation. That's what I was told about it. There's other things, but the primary reason for all of this were governmental issues. And that was the issue we were looking at. I could see that these and many other extremely important issues had not been rightly nor righteously repaired, but simply like throwing unpacked asphalt into a few of them and leaving them. The effect was basically not helping, but making things worse. Many of the deeper holes, which had not been repaired, were from systematic long-term problems through several administrations looking to our past. So instead of truly addressing the problems and issues economically, governmentally, spiritually over recent years, we have instead compounded them through mismanagement of resources, personal evil agendas within federal and some state leadership. So the Lord told me in all of this that he said that it was impossible to give proper oversight to this nation of people if the leaders have no personal oversight, consequences, nor checks of their actions and behavior in their personal lives. That's what the Lord told me about it.
Wow.
That would go for the church as well, I do believe. So moving forward, the potholes had names in the bottoms. National debt was the deepest pothole that I saw. We couldn't go through it. We had to go around it. But also border control, banking systems, overspending, personal agendas, injustice rather than justice, overtaxation, foreign relations, foreign dependence for various supply and demand, breakdown and offshore movement of important American industries, etc., were the potholes. In the experience, it was about 100 yards long as I was looking at it. I didn't see that number. I could just look at it. I used to be a surveyor, civil engineer, so I have a pretty good eye for distances. I could tell we were looking at about 300 or so feet. May relate to days. Not positive. But I'm pretty sure the I-40 relates to weeks, like what you saw.
Yeah, 40 weeks of pregnancy, right?
Exactly right. The things that were unimportant or important, and the most important, there was primary failure in our nation temporarily. And it was due, Chris, this was clear to me from the Lord, it was due to what Psalm 2 says, that our nation, its leaders, have taken their stand against the Christ. That was very clear to me. And God's judgment coming was due to the Psalm 2 dynamic. Instead of kissing the Son, we have resisted him. So I'll kind of rush on in this, if that's okay. I knew that this would be a temporary, short-term thing, but followed by much more long-term, and if I can say this, much worse. So this is not the major thing yet, but it's a step towards that major thing. Again, this will not be, however, the big and foretold collapse within our nation. Instead, the Lord said these things right to me. There will be fractured functions, the breaking of certain structures, the breakdown of some capabilities. I saw that like a human body and the breaking of bones in the human body. Structurally, there would be structural issues in our nation. I've actually thought it was interesting of what just happened to the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore and its collapse. Things like that in our systems. Secondly, functional disabilities, the limited restrictions of movement for a time. Safety will be a concern. Thirdly, a disabling of functions. These are progressing. Unimportant and important functions. Allocations of finances will be temporarily restrained of necessity. Fourthly, disabled functions. Supply and demand will be difficult. Businesses, some will close. Some governmental entities will be halted briefly, especially in their funding and their releasing of funds. And though short term, this will be a hard blow. Difficulties in this time will be real. They will be felt and experienced. Still, this will be short in duration compared to the much greater collapse and difficult times. Let me turn the page. So the key will be trusting in our God. That will be critical, along with listening to his voice and his directives. Perhaps the greatest fear we'll face is not wanting to believe God's warnings and what God is actually saying. It's easier to not believe it, but it won't stop it. We must heed his spoken rhemas and discern properly his true voice from other voices. The true fear of the Lord must be greater than these natural things which can cause fear. The fear of the Lord must become our wisdom. So that's that experience. If I have time, if you want me to, I can move forward to more that ties in with your dream.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
So there was another part of this that I did not share on the 10th because it continued to unfold even over the past couple of weeks. I mentioned it to you. So on the road ahead, past this short-term thing, there was a stretch of highway that seemed good. We were able to pick up speed again. But then I found myself, no longer in my vehicle, standing on the banks of what I've come to call a deluge. I-40, and I knew it wasn't just limited to I-40, was completely washed out. Bridges were gone. And it was a darkness of night, unlike the first experience where it was more like twilight. This was a darkness of night. I could not see across the deluge. So in the deluge, there were things rushing past me in these turbulent waters at night that I could see going past me. One of them was a broken flagpole with the American flag. And I knew that it represented there were no longer 50 states. The flag was torn, it was tattered, and there were bullet holes in the flag. I saw also an old wooden dead tree, no foliage, come by me with 3 branches on it. And written on each of the 3 branches were executive, legislature, and judicial government. It was dead, and it washed past me. I saw automobiles wash past me. I knew that was talking about the automobile industry. I watched as a big sign came by me that said Banks of America. It washed past me. Kroger's. sign washed past me. Insurance signs washed past me, and etc. Much debris from this deluge that was in our nation came washing past me. I wept. That's how impacting it was, especially when I saw the American flag, because I could not help but think of all who have given their lives for this really republic. So then the Lord, moving forward, speaks to me to listen to what he wants me to hear that's actually going on inside the waters. He said the spiritual dynamic of the waters. Chris, this is hard to hear. It was hard for me to hear. But I mean, there were people in such states of rage and lawlessness and anger and bitterness at one another, at our government, just whoever they focused it upon. A spirit of murder temporarily gripped our nation. And it was chaos within our nation. People were screaming. I heard women screaming, children screaming, men screaming in utter rage. And as bad as that was, and it was bad, it got to this point, so bad, that they all realized we're just going to kill everybody if we don't stop. And they began to cry to one another for mercy. Have mercy upon us, to one another. But it didn't stop it. And after a while, they began to cry out, this is beautiful, have mercy upon us, O God. And when that reached a crescendo, coming up out of the waters, I heard the audible voice of God while standing on that bank say, and mercy will triumph over judgment in your nation. That's what he said. And so daylight began to come up. It began to get daylight, which I knew was the significance of a new day had dawned. I was able to see across that turbulent waters like I couldn't before to the other embankment. And there on the other embankment was another flagpole with a new flag. And in the center of a white background, on that flag, was an evergreen tree. Unlike the dead tree I saw float by, was an evergreen tree with new life. And in the center of that evergreen tree was a white star. Written above it in evergreen language and below it was the new republic of America.